2, 1.
Hello, I'm going to show you how to set up your Portacount machine to enable you to do face fit testing on your wards and departments. Portacount machine, manufactured by TSI, comes in this box here. Inside the box you'll have your actual Portacount machine, you'll have your iPad or laptop, and you'll have other consumables such as alcohol and then a small bag with wicks and spare alcohol in. Separately to the blue box, you'll have a black box. The black box houses additional consumables so you can pierce holes in the masks and also additional test adapters alongside your hole punch. This video is a demonstrational video to show you how to do the Portacount machine face fit test. First thing we need to do once we're set up is log into the system. As we log into the system, it will either say Portacount detected or Portacount not detected. If it says Portacount not detected, it could be that the Portacount's been attached to the laptop or the iPad for a length of time without it being used. So what we need to do is disconnect the two ends of the connection and reconnect. So I'm going to disconnect it from there and then reconnect. Essentially, we've just unplugged it and plugged it back in. It should then, as it's saying, connect. So then we connect to the Portacount machine and it brings up this face fit test. A previous screen may show up on your device called a daily check. Please do not bypass the daily check. If it says do the check, you must do the check. Once you've done that, it will bring you to this screen here to allow you to assign a face fit test to an individual. An important factor of carrying out face fit tests is to make sure it's set up correctly. We need a correct distance, roughly about a metre and a half away from between you and the test person. The person needs to face the Portacount machine so they can clearly see the rainbow passages and other requirements when they're doing the test. There also needs to be enough room, about arm's length, between the Portacount machine and where the person is standing stationary. That's because there's a number of exercises the person has to do throughout the test. Another important factor is for me as the tester to say side on. So I can see the individual side on carrying out the steps. And that's so I can coach that person along to make sure they do that right and we get a successful test. What we're going to do now, as Jenny is the model, is sign Jenny into the system and carry out a face fit test. First thing we need to do is click New. Add the person's name, the staff number if known, the location, and the ward or department name. The bottom section where it says notes is to put any additional information. For example, if the person has any headdress, like the surgical hats, or any facial hair, like a moustache. But bear in mind you cannot carry out a face fit test if there's facial hair. Once we've entered the person's details, we click Filter, type in the person's surname, and it will bring that person up. You select the person, and then we make sure the protocols are correct. The protocol should be HSE INDG 479. The respirator or model style should be selected to whatever the respirator is. For this test, we're using a 3M 1873V. The V stands for the valve on the front, the one-way valve. So we select that valve mask from the list and then select the respirator size. Normally with disposable masks they come in one size, so we click one size. Where you do have additional sizes such as reusable respirators and masks, you select small, medium or large. Once we've entered them details in, we click Assign and we're ready to begin the test. To carry out a successful test on a mask, you need to add a port to the mask. Where you're using a reusable mask, an adapter must be used. The ports get added where there's a valve to the left or the right of the valve. If there's no valve on the mask, you put the port in the centre of the mask. I've already prepared this with Jenny over there. So, Jenny, please face the Portacount machine and we're going to run through a Portacount face fit test. There are a number of exercises used throughout this test: normal breathing, deep breathing, head side to side, head up and down, talk out loud, bending over, and then normal breathing. Throughout all of these exercises, with the exception of item 6, which is bending over, the person needs to be carrying out a stepping motion, backwards and forwards. Ideally, you'd have a raised step, so that you could step on and off the step. In this case, we don't have a raised step, which is fine. We can still do the test with the step and motion. Jenny, please begin the step and motion backwards and forwards. The first exercise is normal breathing. Jenny, take a breath in and out, normally through your mouth, no through your nose, and don't speak. Thank you. Continue that. Normal breathing. Good rhythm going there. The next exercise is deep breathing. So on your step forwards, take a big breath through your mouth and breathe out through your mouth on your step back. Continuously making the step and motion. Jenny, head side to side. So on the step front, turn your head to the left. On the step back, turn your head to the right. The next part of the test is a speaking out loud exercise. Continue the step and motion, Jenny, and speak the paragraph on the wall for me. You might need to speak it more than once.
When the sunlight strikes raindrops in the air, they act like a prism and form a rainbow. A rainbow is a division of white light into many beautiful colours. These take the shape of a long round arch with its path high above and its two ends apparently beyond the horizon. There is, according to legend, a boiling pot of gold at one end. People look, but no one ever finds it. When a man looks at something beyond his reach, his friends say he is looking for the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Thank you. The next step is to head up and down. So when you step up, put your head up, and you step back, put your head down. Continue in step and motion throughout. Okay, Jenny, we're going to do a bending exercise. So take a step back and bend from your waist. Breathing normally as you do that, and then up and down. Excellent. And now normal steps backwards and forwards until I tell you to stop. Thank you. Excellent. So that was the principles of the face fit test sped up. That wasn't a full test, it was just a demonstration of how to perform the test. There's an additional method you can use to make sure the fit of the mask is correct before you do the test, which is called a real-time face fit check. Click the three dots in the top left-hand corner and go to real-time fit check. Select the mask on the top of the middle of the screen, and then it will purge the mask and purge the ambient particles and give you a real-time check. It will either swing left or swing right. If it swings right, it means it's positive, and left is negative. If it goes into the green or goes into the red, it doesn't necessarily mean the person will pass the test at the end, because they're not doing the exercises at this point. It will give you a good indication of whether the person will pass or fail, but it doesn't give you a definitive answer. So it's really important that you carry out the face fit check. At the end of the face fit check, if the person is issued with a reusable respirator, you need to make sure the person removes that and recap all of the necessary steps in your handbook of how to care and look after the device, how to don the device, how to doff the device, and how to make sure you do a face fit check on it. For disposable masks, please disconnect the individual from the mask and dispose of that into a yellow bin, a clinical waste bin. It's also really important, whether the person has passed or failed, that you enter the data of that test, pass or fail, onto the LIGHT system, which can be found on the Health and Safety website. Hope you enjoyed this little video demonstration, and the department are happy to help you on your wards and departments if you get into contact with us. And you can also find